More tool organization ideas brought to you by PERCH. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. This is a tool mount, a stainless steel tool mount from PERCH, P-E-R-C-H. Obviously the name's right here. But this is the PERCH Tool Mount. I think it's version 5 because they have a Roman numeral V after it. And anyway, and the old one was, I think, a 3. So I'm assuming it's not the PERCH V Tool Mount, but the PERCH V Tool Mount. Regardless, this is the PERCH Tool Mount, stainless steel. You don't have to get the stainless steel, but what it does, it incorporates their tool mounting technology as well as other technology for batteries, which we'll get into in just a moment. And then, by the way, if you don't like everything about what we're talking about, at the end, make sure you tune in because I'm going to bring to you something that's very rare that happens nowadays, and especially if you don't like the pricing. But let's get to this tool mount and these other apparatuses or accessories. There we go. And actually take a closer look at this. We'll get this mounted, see what we think about it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the pricing with everything we see here, as well as what I was talking about earlier. This is the PERCH V Tool Mount, and that's Roman numeral 5, so your V. So it's not the PERCH V mount, it's the PERCH number 5 tool mount. So what it is, it's pretty self-explanatory, I believe, but it's to hold your power tools. This is a really, really well-built tool mount. It comes with the 48 tools, and if you're not aware of 48 tools, they make these battery holders for your different power tool companies. This is for the Milwaukee, and this will hold 4 batteries, and this PERCH mount is built to mount this 48 tools mount onto this, and then PERCH Tools also makes the actual power tool mounts to mount the tools to their tool mount. So you take these and you add them to their actual tool mount, and you take this and you add it to the actual tool mount, and you get a complete system that's going to hold all your M18 tools, all of your DeWalt 20 volt tools. So right now they do Milwaukee Milwaukee 18 volt and the DeWalt 20 volt, but they are working on doing rigid snap-on, on and on and on. Pretty much all the heavy name brands, the heavy hitters in the tool industry and the pro categories, they're going to be able to handle. So look for those in the coming weeks and months. But let's get back to this. So this tool mount, I'm telling you, it's the best I've seen. And I've seen a lot out there. I've seen a lot of DIY stuff out there, but this is professional if I've ever seen it. T304 stainless. Yes, if you think it's stainless, it is definitely stainless. So T304 stainless, and it's tab and slot built. And if you don't know what that is, basically when this is laser cut, and yes, it is either CNC or laser cut from probably a plasma table, or I believe it says laser. But anyway, so what happens is this piece of stainless is all laser cut with the holes in here. And by the way, some of these are threaded, some of these are not, and we'll cover those in a moment. But all the holes are pre-cut and perfect, if I should say anyway. And then the actual slots are cut into this piece, and this supporting piece here, tabs are cut into it. And then those tabs are matched up and fit through the slots, and then they're TIG welded. So this is 304 stainless that is TIG welded, and this is a solid piece. It says it's built to hold 150 pounds, and I believe it. I don't think that's going to be an issue whatsoever. So again, really, really well built. There's no twist in it whatsoever, and that's even after the shipping company shipped it to me. So all is well, and they even have their logo, their name, laser cut there in the back, which that's just awesome. Even the tab slots here for the screws, which by the way, matches up with our pegboard. So matches up with your standard pegboard sizes. May need to massage that just a little, but again, they're thinking ahead for a lot of these things. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it looks like it definitely was. So what you get here is our 304 stainless tool mount that again is pre-cut and pre-machined to hold their battery mounts and tool mounts. So these tool mounts will actually go here on these tabs, and then you can still sit your tools in here. And again, we'll cover that specifically here in a few moments. And then you can add additional things up here like the 48 Tools battery mount. And depending on which batteries, you know, your Milwaukee, your DeWalt, what have you, is going to determine which holes up here that you'll use. Also, all the hardware comes with these things as well. So with the tool mount and the 48 tool system here, I got all these screws as well as these little T-nuts. And with the exception of the T-nuts, so the T-nuts are steel. The rest of these, even the hardware, is stainless steel. Rare earth magnet here, and you see nothing sticks except those T-nuts. All of these screws are stainless screws, and obviously stainless here on the mount as well. So really love to see that. So even the screws that I'm not going to use are in here for mounting to wood. So if we're mounting this tool mount to wood or studs, we've got the screws there to do it, and those are nice and beefy screws. They're not going anywhere. And then even these screws that are made to then mount these tool holders onto here, which these tool holders come with screws, but it's for wood. So when you get the stainless tool mount, it comes with the machine screws that has the threads already built into the actual stainless steel mount. So let's kind of assemble this together, and then we'll hang it on the wall and see how many tools we can get on it. So with the battery holder here, we'll put this on first, and so it goes up here, and you can see rather quickly of which holes it actually lines up with. And by the way, there are so many things that really impress me about this system, and one of the things is, like these T-nuts, they don't just slide in there. You have to press them in, and they hold really well. Now, it really doesn't matter once they're screwed in, but still, just knowing all of that, of how well this is built, it's really impressive. So you'll take these T-screw or T-bolts, T-slot screws, whatever you want to call these things, and push them up through there. So again, you want to make sure that you've got the right holes. So we've got the T-nuts, and then we've got our tapered stainless screws, tapered heads on them to match the actual plastic form of the battery holder. So we'll get those started. So now we've got that mounted, and look how nice that is, even here across the front, of how well that matches. Even though they did not make this, 48 Tools did, and they made this, but still, just the thought process that went into it and the precision machining, I love to see it. Now let's open up these tool mounts. Obviously red, that's going to be the Milwaukee. And as I mentioned, you're going to get wood screws with it. I'm not going to be using those. We're going to be using the machine screws that come with the actual mount. And we're going to mount these underneath. So we're going to mount the slot up. And again, depending on whether you're putting on the Milwaukee or the DeWalt, determines which screw holes you're using. With the Milwaukee, we're using these top two. By the way, after the screws are all the way in, we're still really flush to the surface here. So again, thought process going in, even the length of screws that they're using with this application. So we've got all 5 mounted now. And again, the look here on the top with the screws nice and flush, really a great look. Now here's the cool thing, or let's say one additional cool thing, is they sell a double stack system. In other words, where you can not only have your tools that are hanging off the bottom, which again, we'll see that in a moment, but you can also mount their tool mounts here on the top. So you can have one that sits on the top, one that sits on the bottom. So basically this same mount would hold 10 tools across here, as well as even holding them in the slots here. So you could have 14 tools, then maybe even more sitting on the top to hold your tools, you know, whatever power tools you have, but it's basically longer screws and then little round nut certs or nuts that actually go on the top here. So the screws would stick all the way through the top, and then they would mount in here, and they'd be nice and flush to this, but they would allow you to double stack these on each one of these tool holders. Okay, so let's go ahead and mount this. And oh, one more thing. So here on the top, and again, even though we have our battery holder here, there are some more holes here, so you could add more mounts to right here. Now, my only thing with this, if I'm mounting this flush to the wall, I'm not sure that we'll have room to put a tool either on the sides here because of the battery mount, and or it being too close to the wall for the tool to be able to slide on there. So maybe not, but anyway, I just did want to mention that there are additional holes up here to hold even more stuff. Okay, so this is about the area we want to mount this. So we're going to remove these tools. And let's go ahead and mark the holes we're going to put this in. So I'm going to say, I'm going to open up these holes using a step bit, and then I'm going to use some rivet nuts or some nut certs, whatever you want to call these, and press those into place. Sorry, Perch, these are not stainless, so it's not going to go with the rest of the tools that you have, but still, it's going to work well. So here we go. And there may be a better way to do this without ruining your wall system, but this is the way we're going to do it. With the slot system here, we should be able to just start our screws. There we go. Now we can put the other two in. And as always, make sure you start all four of them before you try to tighten any of them. Oh yeah. Looks pretty good. Okay, so there we go. We've got 5 tools hung. We've got 4 batteries up, and then a 5th one there in the actual cubby hole. I was hoping. Listen, I had no idea how this was going to work, but I was hoping to be able to still slide tools in here. Listen, beggars can't be choosers, right? This is still an awesome system. I mean, you just look at it. It really organizes well. So basically, you will have to have these tools out. And by the way, in the beginning, they are nice and tight, which they need to be. And I'm sure they'll wear in quite easily. But you need to have both tools out before you can then hang them like this. So if you're wanting it to be ready for use, if you will, so like my impact driver, then it needs to have these tools missing out of either side here to be able to do that, because there's not enough room. Well, maybe with one tool out. Nope, not even with one tool out. Let's see if this will hang. Nope. So you got to have both tools out beside the gap that you're putting it in to be able to hang that. But still, again, really, really good looking system here. I'm really happy with that. I would love to see this system for the M12 stuff. So like my stubby impact wrench, my die grinder that I use a ton. So those types of things. Or sorry, that's not a die grinder. The side cut or the cutoff tool, thank you very much. But anyway, so some M12 tools would be awesome to be integrated with a system like this. And then I could totally see this mounted in a truck, this mounted in a shop like we have it here. It just really, compacts all these tools into one area without much thought, and you still have room to put something in there if you wanted to. Even if you wanted to put a charger in there, run the cord out the side, plug it in right there, you could definitely do that. So really nice system from PERCH, really happy with this. So no doubt about it, this is a really quality built system. They've put a lot of throughput in thinking this out, in machining this, in welding it. Everything about this is quality, and everything is about organization. Now, there's a price you pay for organization, which, by the way, why is this still in front of us when we just mounted this on the wall? Just a second. There, that's better. As we were saying, really, really quality product. Hangs really well. Everything about it is just machined right. The organization is just spot on it. And listen, there is a price to pay, as we were saying, on quality as well as organization. And sometimes you just have to pay with dollars for that organization. But here's the thing. So let's talk about pricing. That T304 stainless steel tool mount is 124 bucks. Now you may gasp a little bit and say, that's over 100 bucks just for a tool mount. You go and have that fabricated out of a piece of stainless steel and tell a welder or a fabricator you want them to build that for $124, and they're going to laugh at you. And even in building it yourself, I mean, I looked at it and thought, okay, well, I'd have to get a brake and have somebody break it for me. I have to have somebody either plasma cut it or use a laser table to. Anyway, I thought, you know what? I don't even want to think about doing it. It's done right. So for 124 bucks, and then the rest of it, so $124 for the mount. You're looking at $24 extra for the 48 tools battery mount that sits on the top. So there's another 24 bucks. So let's 148, let's call it 150. So 150 bucks in. Now these holders here that actually hold the tools that they have in DeWalt and the Milwaukee, and we use the Milwaukee. We used 5 of them, and they come in a 3-pack, even though on the website it just shows singles for $6.95 each, which is a little confusing to me. I'm sure they must sell these maybe through their distributors and such in a 3-pack like this, but regardless, let's call them $7 a piece. I think they're $6.95. So let's call it 20 bucks for a 3-pack. And we use 2 of the 3-packs with 1 left over. So there's another 40 bucks. So let's call it $200. We're all in. Came with the stainless steel hardware. The only thing that wasn't stainless were the little T-nuts that go in there to hold the battery holder on. So we're less than $200 and we've got everything organized. If that were in your van, if that were in your truck or in your shop like it is here, again, man, I know over time that's going to really diminish in what that cost is. But here's the kicker. So you don't like the 200 bucks. Here's how you can get around that. Never seen this before, I don't think. I shouldn't say never. Anyway, rarely do I see this. On PERCH Tools website, there's a little DIY tab. You can click on the DIY tab and they will give you CAD drawings, PDF drawings, you name it, whatever format you want them in various formats, whether you're wanting to build it out of wood, out of stainless steel like you see here, you want to use your table saw, the complete schematics on how to build these tool organizers. So you're saying, well, they're just trying to sell their tool mounts. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, is sell their tool mounts, but kudos to them for providing for free right there on the tab. You don't have to give an email address or nothing, so you can download the actual schematics to build your own. So you may not want it out of stainless. Maybe you want to build it out of wood. They've got it on their site, and then you can buy their mounts, buy their battery holder. Hey, kudos to them. Really, PERCH really knocked it out of the park with this, because I really like the stainless steel one. So less than 200 bucks all in. Also, they have the double mount kit. I was talking about that, where you can stack the tool mounts on top of one another. So you could have the actual tools sticking up on top of the ones that are hanging down. And that 5-piece kit is 38 bucks. So for $38, you get 5 more of the tool holders and the longer screws and the special little round nuts. So they're not just 6-sided nuts. They're actually round nuts that fit in there and have a low profile, and the screws are specifically the right length to go through the 2 tool mounts, and then you double basically your capability of hanging those tools and standing those tools up. I will say the tolerance is very tight on these, so they slide in pretty hard. So pulling them off on my wall mount, I kind of want to hold it with another hand to just kind of brace it, because I'm sure that's going to wear over time. But it's not excessive at all. It's just a tight fit initially. Again, so I'm sure it's going to wear in and be fine, but it's not going to be sloppy and loose. Check them out from PERCH Tools. We'll have a link in the description. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button? But only if you liked our video. And if you hated our video, by all means, give us that thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.